In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know about San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to cover things like traffic, housing, entertainment, and things to do while you're living here in San Antonio. Now, stick around to the very end because I'm going to share what I believe are the places you absolutely have to avoid when living here in San Antonio. So if that's something that you're looking for, awesome. Let's get into it right now. So we go ahead and pull up the map of San Antonio, and as you can tell, San Antonio is a pretty large place. I mean, it is the seventh largest city in the United States. But if you notice in this map right here, there's some little pockets of little cities within San Antonio, and that's pretty common here. There's little municipalities that did not want to become part of San Antonio. I don't know why, but they have their own police departments, they have their own city councils and all that. So those are some areas that you might want to be careful when you're driving in and out of, because they're infamous for giving you speeding tickets and for drumming up business whenever you go into these areas of town, because, well, that's how they keep their municipalities running. So, but when we're talking about San Antonio, we're not just talking about this, because that's the actual San Antonio. What I want to cover is all of this, which is the greater San Antonio area. So everything that is happening in and around San Antonio, because guess what? You're going to go out there, you're going to have fun, you're going to actually, try to do things out in the city, and I want to make sure that you get all of that information. Okay, so let's start off with the roads. Like, what roads come into San Antonio, where are they coming from, and where do they go? There's a lot of things that you need to know whenever you're moving into San Antonio with reference to the roads, because when people, ask you a question, you'll understand where they're coming from. So let's jump into it real quick. And right here we have the first road I want to tell you about is Loop 410. So San Antonio is like a wheel. So there's two big wheels going around the city, and the first one is Loop 410. The second one is Loop 1604. Now, whenever people refer to Loop 410, they're always going to say either inside or outside the loop. So if, for instance, you say, I'll meet you, or there's this place on Bandera Road, they're going to ask you, is it inside or outside the loop? Well, 410 is the loop that they're referring to right there. Now, if they're referring to 1604, for instance, this area right here, that is Bandera Road and Loop 1604. So if I'm meeting you there, I'm going to say, I'll meet you at Bandera and Loop 1604. So just so you know, whenever somebody says inside or outside the loop, they're referring to Loop 410. Now, let's start off with the roads that are coming in from the north. So the first road is IH-35. It comes in here and goes into the city. Now, IH-35 is coming from Austin, Texas. There is a lot of traffic coming from Austin, Texas. So if you don't like parking lots, this part of IH-35 is the part to avoid, because there is nothing but traffic there. It is not uncommon for any time of the day for it to be at a standstill. There's semi trucks, there's, all these people moving in and out of Austin, and they're using that main corridor right there, and it gets really backed up. There is some construction being done in this area right here by Live Oak, so that even adds to the delays. But let's say that you want to go to Austin and you don't want to get stuck in traffic. Well, that's easy. All you got to do is, instead of using IH-35, let me back this up a little bit so you can see, there's Austin, Texas. There's a better route to take to get there and to avoid all the traffic. So right here you have Highway 281. If you take 281 all the way to 290 and then cut across, you'll get into Austin, avoiding all the traffic and all the headaches and all the road rage that's there. So that's the way that I would do. I would take that route to Austin. If I was going to Austin, I would avoid IH-35 as much as possible. So the next road is, I'll just scoot over this way. San Antonio again is right here. Let me mark it up so you see it. So San Antonio is right here. The next road is going to be IH-10. IH-10 goes all the way this way, and it heads into Houston, Texas. So Houston, Texas is about a 3-hour drive. So if you want to go to Houston, it's gonna be a fairly short drive, but it is right here. So there's Houston right there, and here's San Antonio. Now IH-10 is the main way to get there, and it's probably the fastest. But again, just like IH-35 going in and out of Houston, there's going to be a lot of semi trucks, a lot of drivers, a lot of, just it could be a lot of headache. If you want to take a more pristine, more mellow approach to getting to Houston, go to San Antonio, hit Seguin, and then take U.S. Highway Alternate 90. So Highway 90 goes this way into Houston. This is a much more mellow way to get there, and there's less traffic and probably a lot less road rage using that alternate highway. So now, if you want to go south, let's back up a little bit. If you want to go south, so you're here again in San Antonio, and you want to go south on IH-37, that'll take you into Corpus Christi. So Corpus Christi is the closest coastal city that there is. There's a lot of fishing. You can go to the beach. You can go swimming. All kinds of stuff that you can do in Corpus Christi. As a matter of fact, my favorite spot to go in Corpus Christi, if we zoom in there real quick, is going to be Padre Island, which is right here. It's Padre Island. So Padre Island is a national seashore. My son and I like to go there fishing, so we'll leave here early in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, take the 2-hour drive, because it's a little bit more because we're on the beach, about a 2-hour drive. We'll set up, we'll fish all day, and then we'll come back home about 6 in the evening. So that is a nice place that we like to go. But you can also go to Port Aransas. I just did a 24-hour deep sea fishing trip out of Port Aransas. That's a nice spot. A lot of people like to go there and hang out. And then Mustang Island. During spring break, this island gets crazy. So there's a lot of people that are like tourists that go there. They hang out. So if you're going to go during the spring break, just be aware that there's a lot of people there. So other things that you can do in Corpus Christi, obviously there's a lot of condos that are in this area right here. You can rent Airbnbs. You can just chill out and have a good time. So Corpus Christi is a nice place to go if you like the water or you like the beach. Now, going back up to San Antonio, we're going to go ahead and go 35 south. So if you go 35 south, you'll find yourself in Laredo, which is right there. So Laredo, Texas is a border town. It is, the entry point to Mexico. So if you want to go there, you just take IH-35 south and you'll be there in no time. If you take Highway 90 going west, you're going to end up in Del Rio. So if you like casinos, Del Rio has a couple of casinos that you can go to. It's, a lot of people here get on a bus, they travel to Del Rio, they go to the casinos, and then they come back either, a couple of days later if they're doing it for the weekend or they're doing it for the evening, then they could, for the day, then they just come back on that same day. But if you like casinos, that's a nice place to go right there. And then if you take IH-10 west, you're going to go all the way this way past Fort Stockton to El Paso. Now, there's nothing to do in El Paso. No, I'm just joking. There's a lot to do in El Paso. I personally, it's not one of my favorite spots, so I don't go there often, mainly because it's probably about 6 or 7 hours away. So I don't want to go that far out. But let's get back into San Antonio. So those are the roads in San Antonio, the major roads, and those are the roads that are leading in and out of San Antonio. So my name's Jesse Lopez. I'm the owner of Blue Utopia Realty here in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I'm a native San Antonian. I lived here my entire life, with the exception of the time that I served in the United States Air Force. I moved all over the world from city to city, and I always drug my family along with me. And one of the things that was missing when I was moving from town to town is the information. Like, we didn't have the internet, and we definitely didn't have YouTube to help us. So that's exactly why I created this channel. I wanted to make sure that I brought you quality information, so when you move here, you'd fall in love with this city. And that's the second reason I do it, is because I love San Antonio. Every time I had an opportunity to come back while I was serving in the United States Air Force, I always made it back, because there's no place like San Antonio. You're going to love it. And in order for you to know everything there is to know about it, I'm going to ask you to hit the subscribe button and tap on that bell so you're notified every time I put out a new video. So What brings people to San Antonio? Well, that's a great question. Let's go back to the map and let me show you what's going on in San Antonio. As I told you, I was in the Air Force, and the Air Force actually brings a lot of people here. So some of the main attractions that we have, or some of the things that bring people to San Antonio, is the Air Force. And the first one is Lackland Air Force Base. This is the home of basic training. So everybody who comes into the Air Force is going to come through Lackland Air Force Base. And what does that mean? That means that we have thousands of people visiting us every single week from different parts of the United States. So Lackland Air Force Base is right there. And then it has a little annex that's right here. This is Medina Annex. So you do a lot of weapons training there. There's a lot of security forces training, and there's a munitions site out there. That's where I started my career. I was a weapons instructor. I taught on the firing ranges. I taught people marksmanship skills, and it's a lot of fun. The next one is another annex of Lackland, and this is Kelly Air Force Base. It's not Kelly Air Force Base anymore. It's Kelly Field. During the base realignment and closures that we had, years ago, that got closed down, and the main operation got moved to Tinker, Oklahoma, and the airfield became part of Lackland. The next base is this huge base right here, Fort Sam Houston. So Fort Sam Houston is a large Army base. They specialize in medical, and it's no wonder that they have the largest Trauma One Center, probably in South Texas, right here, it's called by two names: BAMC, the Brooke Army Medical Center, or SAMC, the San Antonio Military Medical Center. So that is their specialty. There's a lot more stuff going on there. It is an Army base, so that's right in the northeast part of San Antonio, or excuse me, the northeast of downtown. So it's conveniently located in central San Antonio. The next base is Randolph Air Force Base, which is up here. So Randolph Air Force Base is a personnel center for the Air Force. That's where they take care of all the personnel issues, not issues, but information. It's kind of like what is that name of that office? The personnel office at your company. Another thing that Randolph does is they train pilots. So that's the beginning of pilot training. So you'll see some of these little aircraft that they fly around over Randolph Air Force Base and all of San Antonio. So those are pilots in training before they move into the fighter jets and the cargo planes. Now, another base that we have, and it is up here in the north, is Camp Bullis. So Camp Bullis is this big, massive land right here. Camp Bullis is not an actual base, but it is a training site that all the services use. The Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, we all use that. That's where we do the majority of our weapons firing and tactical training. So it's not uncommon to shoot, mortars, to shoot machine guns and all that stuff. But don't worry, it is a large area, and the surrounding neighborhoods are very safe. They're not in any harm's way. But those are the bases that bring people into San Antonio. But that's not the only people that come to San Antonio. San Antonio has three main attractions that people come to visit for. And the first one you may have known, and that is right here, downtown San Antonio, and it's the Riverwalk. So the Riverwalk, let's take a look at some photos. If you've ever been there, is a pretty cool place. It is a river. It is an actual river that we put a lot of shops and a lot of restaurants and all that on the banks. So if you've ever been to San Antonio, you'll notice at the Riverwalk, there's some barges. You can go on boat rides. They tell you all the history of San Antonio. So this is the main attraction. The Riverwalk brings millions of people to San Antonio. So if you're going to be going downtown to the Riverwalk, just be prepared, because any time of the week, there's going to be a ton of people. Right now, we have our Christmas lights going on because it is December, and we have a river parade, and it's a beautiful place to go. Go hang out. You can go to a local pub. You could go to a restaurant, have dinner, all that good stuff. So those are some of the horse-drawn carriages that we have downtown. So that's one attraction that we have here in San Antonio. Another attraction that we have is some of the amusement parks. So the amusement parks, let me back up so you can see where it is exactly. So the first amusement park is right over here. It's located on the northwest side of San Antonio, and that is Six Flags. So Six Flags is right here. Let's zoom in there. And let's show you an actual view of the park. So Six Flags, Texas is right there. If you've ever been to Six Flags, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of rides. There's a lot of entertainment. They have a not a splash pad, but a watering, swimming area. So it is a really nice location to go to take your family. So when you move to San Antonio, you know, go out there, take your family to Six Flags and enjoy the day. You're going to need the whole day and put on some comfortable shoes because there is going to be a lot of walking going on. Now, the third attraction that we have is located right in this area right here, and it is SeaWorld. SeaWorld, we have Shamu, you know, there's shows, there's all kinds of stuff. So let's zoom in there. Here it is, SeaWorld. Let's take a look at some photos of SeaWorld. If you're in the military, SeaWorld and Six Flags, they almost always have these specials for military people. So either you can go in free or you can get discounted prices, you can get season passes. But both of those, SeaWorld and Fiesta Texas or Six Flags, are great places to take the family, to go blow off some steam, you know, maybe just spend the whole weekend together enjoying the shows and all that. So that's SeaWorld. So it's located on the west side of San Antonio. Now, if you're moving to San Antonio and you want to get all the information that you can about, you know, life here in San Antonio, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to, you can give me not if you want to, just give me a call. If you're moving to San Antonio and this information is helpful, please do me a favor, hit the comments, you know, write a comment down below, let me know what's working, what's not working, or if there's something that you want more information about, just put in the comments. You know, YouTube loves when people interact with the creator, and you know, it actually helps our algorithm. So more people that are moving to San Antonio like you get this content. So I'd appreciate it if you make some comments, or you know, hit the like button, maybe subscribe, all that good stuff. So yeah. Now, those are the attractions and those are the military bases that bring people to San Antonio. While you're living here, though, you may want to continue pursuing your higher education. So I'm going to hit the universities, or at least the bigger universities that we have here in San Antonio. The first university is located up here in the northwest side, right by Six Flags, and that is the University of Texas at San Antonio. My wife went to University of Texas at San Antonio. She got her master's degree there. It's a big campus. I always hear every time we drive by there how much it's changed. It's a great school. Their football program has gotten better, so there's a lot more, you know, to look forward to whenever, you know, football season comes, because, you know, UTSA is doing pretty good. So that's the first one right there, is UTSA. The second university is also another Texas university. It's Texas A&M, and that one is located in the south side of San Antonio. And that one is right over, where did you go? All right, let me back up because I'm getting lost here. So, there you go, right there. Texas A&M University. So Texas A&M University is a newer school, and by newer I mean like in the last maybe 10 years. They came to South San Antonio. That's their campus right there. I have not gone to UTSA. Actually, I did go there, not to class, but to an event that they had there. But it's a really nice campus. If you're wanting to go to Texas A&M, then it's located in the south side of San Antonio. Now, other universities, and these are a little bit smaller, but they're here in Alamo Heights. I did do a video for Alamo Heights, and it's located right over here. And it's a video about living in Alamo Heights, and it covers these two universities a little bit more in depth. But this one, the first one, is the University of Incarnate Word, and that one, they kind of specialize in nursing, but they have other programs as well. And then the second one, let's show you the University of Incarnate Word. So University Incarnate Word is a really nice campus. During the holidays, they take their trees and they decorate them with Christmas lights. It's a big attraction. A lot of families like to drive through the grounds and see, those lights. So it's a pretty picturesque place to go to. Let me show you that photo. There you go. So those are the the trees with Christmas lights, and again, people love to go there and check those out. It's a nice drive through the campus. So that is University of Incarnate Word. Right down the street, there's another university, and this is Trinity University. Trinity University is a liberal arts school. They have a lot of programs, like too many to name, but again, it's another university close to downtown. As you can tell right here, here's downtown. There's downtown right there, and here's Trinity. So it's only 4 miles away from downtown, which is the same thing that I say in the video about Alamo Heights. But it's a nice campus as well. So those are two options that you can go to in order to continue your higher education. Now let's zoom a little bit out again, and let's take you over to the northeast side of San Antonio. So the northeast side of San Antonio has Wayland Baptist University, and the other day I couldn't see it on here, but it is up here. And another school for you military folks is Park University. Park University is located inside Lackland Air Force Base at their education center. So if you're wanting to go to school like I did, my alma mater is Park University, and everywhere I got stationed, there was a Park campus there. So Park University is on Lackland. And then San Antonio has all these community colleges. It's called the Alamo Colleges. And let me bring those up so you can see those. Alamo. Oops. So my wife actually works for the Alamo Colleges, and we're going to start off with the ones that are down here in the south. The first one is Palo Alto, which is this one right here. Palo Alto is the community college that's in the south of San Antonio. On the west side, you have Northwest Vista College. In the middle of downtown, you have San Antonio College. My wife works at St. Philip's College. And then over here on the upper northeast, you have Northeast Lakeview. So those are options for a community college. They also have certificate programs. One of the certificate programs is down here, which is the Southwest campus. They actually do welding, HVAC, electrical, that kind of stuff. I'm actually going to take their welding classes because I just like to do a lot of things. I'm a hands-on person, so it kind of just suits what I like to do. But those are opportunities that you have within the colleges, Alamo Colleges here in San Antonio. So those are great places to get an education. So of course, knowing where the schools are and knowing what brings people here is all great and dandy, but eventually you got to pick an area to call home, right? So I'm going to just give you a quick overview of the best neighborhoods in San Antonio. I'll tell you a little bit about each one, but if you want to see more of those, like I said, there's some videos right up here where you can actually see a little bit more in-depth information about the different neighborhoods. So just look around the channel, you'll find those. And if you don't find a city, or excuse me, a neighborhood or an area that is of interest to you, sorry, I haven't finished my coffee, so let me take some of that. If you do find an area that's of interest to you, but you don't see a video, just do me a favor, hit the remarks down below, let me know, and I will rush out there and do a video for you. All right, so the areas that I would recommend that you move into if you're coming to San Antonio is, we're going to start off in the north side of San Antonio. So I did do a video, and this is the area called Stone Oak. Stone Oak is a very nice place to live. It's a master plan community. It's anchored by 2 golf courses. There's a 3rd golf course over here. It's a Marriott, but it's a really nice location. If you like comfort and you like luxury, that's a good place to be. The homes in that area start at about $400,000 and they go up to 3 or 4 million. So you have a wide variety of homes that you could choose from. And if we go just a little bit further north, I want to show you this area up here. So there's Stone Oak, Timberwood Park, is another area that is really nice. So Timberwood Park, and then also this area over here is going to be Beauverde. All that area up there, there's a lot of new construction, a lot of nice new homes. Homes are going to cost you maybe in about the 700,000s on up, but they're really nice. This is the very edge of the what we call the hill country. So there's some scenic views out there. There's some rolling hills. You're absolutely going to love it. Now, for older neighborhoods, but still nice, are Chavano Park and Hollywood Park. So this area right here is a really nice place. This is kind of where the country starts to meet up with the city. And so you're going to have a lot bigger lots, a lot bigger homes, but with those bigger lots and bigger homes come bigger price tags. So those are, you're looking at about 900,000 into the millions. This next area is where I live, and this was actually named one of the best places to live in not in San Antonio, in the United States. I think it was in the top 10 best neighborhoods in the United States. So that's Alamo Heights. That's Alamo Heights right here. There's some other little cities around it, and let me zoom in. So this is where I live, right? So here you have Alamo Heights, which is a municipality. You also have Terrell Hills. Our famous person that lives out there is, what is his name? Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones lives in Terrell Hills. You have Terrell Heights, Oak Park Northwood, and Oakwell Farms. This is considered the nicest place to live, or one of the top 10 nicest places to live in the United States. And if you watch the video about Alamo Heights, you're going to see why. I cover, Terrell Hills. But you know what? Let's take a look. Let's go jump in there. I want to show you what it looks like. Like, look at the homes here. So these are homes in Alamo Heights. Notice how the homes are really big. The streets are wide. There's a little dog park right down the street. I'll show you. But look at those homes right there. Those are some nice homes. It's not a cookie cutter neighborhood, so no two homes look alike. The long story short is there was a lot of developers when Alamo Heights was being developed, and they just brought in their different characteristics, their different styles and flares, and like these homes there are no two that look the same. So watch the video about Alamo Heights. I don't want to give you too much because then you won't watch the video, but go look at those right there. And then I want to show you a special home here in Terrell Hills. I found this the other day. I didn't find it. I already knew it was there, but this is something really special right here. So where are we? Right there. So this guy, the owner of this house, does this every single year, and it's during Christmas time, which coincidentally we're in right now. But he decorates this home with all this Christmas stuff, and it is just a sight to see. When you live here, when you move here, take your children out there, let them look at it. I mean, you can actually look into that church right there, and you can actually see, like pews and people in there. It's really cool. He does it up really nice. He plays music. Your family and your kids will love it. It's a nice place to go. All right, so continuing on with the neighborhoods. Other neighborhoods that you want to maybe consider, if you're military, not saying that you have to live here, but a lot of our military folks live in this area over here. Because Lackland Air Force Base is here, Medina Annex is here, they're going to live in this area right there because of the commute. So it's a really nice place. The homes there range from $350,000 to $900,000. It just depends on the area specifically. One area that's really cool is Alamo Ranch. A lot of people like to live in Alamo Ranch, but this area right here, this is Highway 211 and Highway 90. This area right here is growing quite a bit, so there's a lot of opportunities there. A lot of builders offering a lot of incentives if you want to move there and maybe save on a little bit of money. So that's another area that you can move into. So the far west side. Another little town right here is Castroville. So Castroville is a little German town. It's a nice place to live, but then you just got to consider the commute into town. But if you don't mind driving a country road, which is not a country road, but smaller road, you will absolutely love living in Castroville. Other areas that are really, really nice are Fair Oaks Ranch. Let's zoom into this northwest quadrant right here. Fair Oaks Ranch right here. If you want a big house with a big yard and you want to feel like you live in the country, there's not going to be a better place than this right here. So Fair Oaks Ranch has two different parts. There's actually a golf course there, and you can move into that neighborhood. There's a selection from anywhere from 600,000 all the way to the millions, depending on what you're looking for. Another area that is very famous here in San Antonio is this one right here, is the Dominion. And the Dominion, I can't show you what the streets look like there or what the homes look like because it's a gated community and you can't go in there unless you go through a security gate. There's 3 security gates and they won't let you in. People that live there are people like David Robinson, who we call the Admiral, used to be a San Antonio Spur. George Strait lived there, and a bunch of other Spurs live in the Dominion area. If you don't want to pay those prices, you can always go across the street and live in places like Stonewall Ranch. Up here on Bernie Stage Road, this is called Red River Rock right here, or River Rock Ranch, I mean. That's a nice neighborhood, beautiful homes. You can actually find some really nice deals there, anywhere from 500,000-600,000 on up. But that's River Rock Ranch and Stonewall Ranch. All these homes in this area right here are really nice. So if that's where you want to live, that'll be great. And let me tell you, one of the things that is also awesome about living in this area is that there's a lot of shopping that could be done right here at the Rim and La Cantera. So let's zoom into the Rim right here. Let's see if I could show you what kind of shops. Oh, Bass Pro Shop is there. So if you're a fisherman and you like Bass Pro Shop, voila, here it is, Bass Pro Shop. You can go in there to your heart's content, buy all kinds of fishing gear. They also have boats and all kinds of stuff. So there's a big theater right across the street, right over here. There's a big theater, the Palladium, so you can go in there, have movies, shopping and all that good stuff. There's another area that you can go shopping at that is just down the street, that is right here, La Cantera, and that's this complex right here. Why isn't it opening up? Oh, let's just show you the view. Oh, that's why, because it's just a parking lot. That's not where, there you go, right here. No, it's Six Flags. Ah, there you go, right there. So this is La Cantera right here. So this shopping center right here, look, they have stores like Neiman Marcus, they have Tiffany, they have, all kinds of different stores in there. So if you like shopping and that's where you want to, spend your day, then that's a good place to go. All right, another area that a lot of people don't know much about is this area right here. This is I-10, and on this side, there's some really nice neighborhoods. And on this side, this is called the medical center. So there's a lot of hospitals, clinics, a lot of doctors work here. But I want to take you into this neighborhood right here and show you what they look like. So Elm Creek is a gated community, and you cannot go there. So I'm not sure if this is going to work. Nope. You see how Elm Creek is gated, so Google couldn't even get in there to do, the streets. But the neighboring communities are also real nice. This is Whispering Oaks right here. So you can tell these are a little bit older homes, but there's some nice, trees. There's, different types of homes here. But these are nice, quiet areas to live in, right in the city. So I highly recommend living in that area as well. So if you want to live in the country and you want, to have a little bit more land, then this area on this side of town is really nice. You're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. So you can find a $400,000 house with an acre of property on it. You can find some really good deals out there. The general rule is the further north you go in San Antonio, the more it's going to cost you. There's a lot of development starting to happen down here in the south side of town. So as the years go by, more and more homes are being built, and it's getting a little bit more expensive. But right now, if you moved into the south side of San Antonio, you'd be able to find some really good deals. So another neighborhood that I would recommend, or another part of town I would recommend, is this part right here, which is the Northeast Corridor. This was one of the largest or fastest growing parts of San Antonio in the last couple of years. There's been a lot of growth here, but with growth, of course, come higher prices. So the higher the demand, the more the homes are going to go for. So homes out here, you're looking at about, $500,000 on up. But it is a really nice area to live in. But remember, I did tell you about IH-35 being a parking lot. If you don't mind that, then this is a good place for you to live. What are some areas that I would recommend you stay away from? All right, let's dive into that. I know you've been waiting for it, so let me show you. The first neighborhood, I have no personal knowledge, so don't take my word for it. Do some research, look up crime statistics, but is this area right here, Kirby. A lot of people that I know say that Kirby has a lot of crime. And if you look at the housing and you look at the area, it's kind of indicative of, high crime areas. Another area that I would stay away from is this part of town right here. This is what we call the east side. The east side is going through some gentrification right now. So there's little shacks that are run down next to homes that are selling for 400,000, and they're having some trouble. There are some trouble spots in there. My wife actually works in one of the community colleges right there, and she tells me about all the crime she sees every day. So I necessarily wouldn't move there. There's better places in San Antonio to move to. And then this area right here, the inner west side, actually not that far up. Let me correct that. So the inner west side, probably about right here. There's I actually have personal knowledge of this area because I used to own a house, or not used to, I still own a house right around there. It's a rental house now, but I lived in it before I turned it into a rental home, and it was almost a nightly occurrence hearing gunshots. And you would hear gunshots, and then you hear return fire, and sometimes you might hear cop sirens, and sometimes you wouldn't. So it's just crazy out there. If you're part of that neighborhood, you'll be okay, but you'll know if you don't fit in because everybody's going to be looking at you like, what do you want? So I would not go into that part of town, or I would not live in that part of town. Now, there's an area right next to it right here, which is Woodlawn. It's also going through some changes. So there's some nice homes that you're going to find there. But the more you venture into more of this area, yeah, it's going to be a little bit hairy. And then the last one that I want to tell you about, again, I had personal knowledge of this, is a neighborhood that's down here. I don't know if it's still like this, but one time I was driving there with my son, and there was literally a drive-by on the car that was behind me. Man, I left that area so quick, I didn't even think twice. I just dashed on out of there because it was not the place to be. So those are some areas I would definitely stay away from. There's a lot of crime in those areas, and it's not a generally safe place to be with your family. Now, some other areas to live in, which are not necessarily in San Antonio, but they're very highly desirable places, are these areas right here. The first one that I want to talk about is Bernie. So Bernie is in the hill country, so it is a way away from San Antonio, but they have some of the nicest communities. They're master plan communities. They have these large amenity centers. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can roll up into one so you can see what I'm talking about. There's a community called Esperanza in Bernie, and I want to see if we could find it. So here is Esperanza. It's a little community, or it's a master plan community in Bernie. And I just want to show you, they have a lazy river. I actually have a video of this, and it's not on YouTube. But if you send me a message, I will send you the video. Maybe I should upload it to YouTube. But here is Esperanza. It's a nice community. They have a nice amenity center with a big pool. Let's see what this video does. So that's the amenity center. Here's the pool area. Here's a lazy river that you can go, tubing on. There's a splash pad right over here. It's just a really nice community. If you want more information on that one, let me know. I can definitely get you that information. But yeah, Esperanza in Bernie. A lot of people like to move to Bernie, so that's one of the areas that I would recommend. Another area that is very popular is right over here, and it's New Braunfels. New Braunfels is known for their tubing, so there's a lot of tubing that you can do out there. You basically take a tube, inner tube, get on a river, and it just kind of flows you down the river. Then you have to go back up to your car. A lot of people spend the summer doing that. You can strap on an inner tube with a cooler full of adult beverages and do that. So that's a really touristy area, especially during the summer. So keep that in mind. So those are some areas that people would like to move into that are not in San Antonio. A third one is Bulverde. So I kind of already talked about Bulverde, Timberwood Park. So these areas right here are really nice. They're hill country and yeah, very beautiful and picturesque. What do you think of when you think of Texas, moving to Texas? If you like the nightlife, there's a couple of places that you can go, but there's a couple of places you probably should avoid. So let's jump into the map and show you the places that I would recommend that you go because they're pretty neat. So the first area that I would recommend is called the Strip. It's on St. Mary Street, which is right north of downtown. It is right here. So you see right there, it's called the Strip. So the Strip has a lot of bars, so it's a nightlife that you're gonna go into, and you can go up and down these. I remember growing up as a kid, I used to go to this one place, which was there's a lot of construction going on right now, but there's a concert place right down the street. Let's see if I can find it here. This is it right here. It's called the Paper Tiger now, but I think back then it was called the White Rabbit or something like that. But there's a lot of these places that you can go. There's, outdoor seating. You can sit out there, have some beverages. Right now, there's a big construction effort going on in there. So the citizens that live around that area are pretty upset because, who wants to live in a construction zone? Well, San Antonio is known for being slow at construction. So if you see a construction area when you move here, more than likely, if you're moving away, it's probably still going to be under construction. Another area that I would recommend is downtown. Everybody likes to go downtown. There's a lot of places to go. It is kind of touristy to go downtown, but if you like the nightlife, that's a great area to be. And then if you go a little bit further north of downtown, you have the Pearl Brewery area, which is right here. But there's a little strip right here of shops that you could go to and go hang out. So one of my favorites is this one right here. It's called Elsewhere. So Elsewhere is a beer garden. You can go out there and just hang out. It's a really nice place to be. You can invite your friends, your family. All these places are child friendly, so you can bring your children with you. They'll have a good time. So that's a nice one. There's another one right down the street, which is called El Camino. Let me show you that. El Camino is right here. There's a VFW. El Camino is right there. So here's another one that's a really nice place to hang out at. They have food trucks on the grounds, so you can find all kinds of street food that you could eat there, and of course hang out with your friends, have a good time. And then right behind it is another favorite spot of mine, and it's the VFW. So the VFW is a veteran of foreign wars. You don't have to be a veteran to go to it, but this is the oldest VFW in Texas. So it's an old home converted into the VFW. So this is a nice place to go. If you want to go and just hang out with some older guys, some older veterans, and hear some crazy stories, this is a place to go right here. All right, so those are some of the areas that I would recommend that you go to for nightlife. Of course, there's a lot more in San Antonio. There's a lot more stuff to do. Not just those areas that I just showed you, but There's plenty of things to do. I'm going to show you some parks and some museums that you could take the family to, enjoy the day, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump in there now. Right here, if you go into the map, and let's close this up. Right here is the San Antonio Zoo, which is right north of downtown. So there's downtown San Antonio. Let's click out of there. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so right north of downtown is the zoo. So this is Brackenridge Park. Brackenridge Park, and by the way, there's over 300 parks in San Antonio, so there's always one near you. Brackenridge Park is one of the biggest parks in San Antonio. Like I said, the San Antonio Zoo is there. You have the Japanese Tea Garden. There's an actual train. If you can see the train tracks right there, there's an actual train that goes around the park, so you can go ride in it. It's pretty cool. Another park just north of that is Almost Basin. So Almost Basin is right here. There's soccer fields. There's trailheads. I mean, you can go out there and just spend the entire day having a good old time. On the south side of San Antonio, let's go south, you have Espada Park. This park I grew up going to, and the San Antonio River is on it right here. And I'm going to show you, there's a dam on there that holds the water back, so the rest of San Antonio could have, a nice river. But right here, that's not it. Let's go up. Right there. Right here is a dam, and I believe it or not, that's probably about a 25 foot drop. And as a kid, we used to slide down this dam, which is crazy. I don't know what my parents were thinking, why they let us do that, but this is a good place. There's these trails that you can go up and down the San Antonio River. They're interconnected with the rest of the creek beds. It makes for a nice green space. So if you like biking, you like walking or running, hitting those trails is going to offer you a lot of opportunity to be outdoors and be away from traffic. So those are some parks right there. Let me show you a couple more, and then we'll move on. Another park, which is right north of downtown, is San Pedro Springs Park. This one is a nice park. It used to have a natural spring. I mean, it's still there, but we've tapped so much into the Edwards Aquifer, which is our water supply, that these springs are starting to go dry. But that's San Pedro Park right there. One of the things about our parks is that people just love to hang out at the park, especially on holidays. Like on Easter, it's not uncommon for somebody to camp out for a week to claim a spot on Brackenridge Park because they've been doing it for so many years that they just want to go and do it in the same location. And it's become a tradition for people out here. Two other parks that are right up north is McAllister Park. This one has a lot of trails. It's got a playground. So look at all those trails right there. Let's do the satellite view so you could see that. But look at all these trails that you can go on. All those little gray areas right there, they're all trails. As you can tell, there's some baseball diamonds. There's all kinds of sporting complexes that you can do things at. It's nice and wooded. So McAllister Park is a really nice park. And then right down the street, there's another park. And it is over here. Not McAllister Park. Phil Harburger Park. There we go. So Phil Harburger Park right there. And that one as well has a lot of trails. Phil Harburger Park has a land bridge that goes over the highway. Where is it? Right there. So this land bridge right here is not for vehicles. It is for wildlife and for people to go across it. I think it's more for wildlife. But that's kind of a new opening. So the highway underneath it is Wurzbach Parkway, but there's a land bridge. So you see a lot of these in France. They make these land bridges so the wildlife can cross the street. Because look at how much wooded area there is over here and over here. And believe it or not, there's a lot of deer within the city limits. So a lot of these little municipalities, they have a lot of deer, and they have ordinances where you can't kill the deer so they're in your front lawn eating your flowers and your flower beds and all that stuff. So those are some good parks that you can go to while living in San Antonio. Like I said, there's 300 parks here, so you're never going to have a place that you can't go to as far as outdoor space. Some other areas that you can go to while living here and are not in San Antonio, and I already kind of touched on a couple of them, were the lakes. So the lakes are located, there's four major lakes. One of them you don't really want to go to because there's nothing there, but let's take a look at those lakes now. So the first lake is this one right here, Canyon Lake. So Canyon Lake is probably the most popular lake there is. So you can go boating, you can go fishing, you can go, hang out for the day, barbecue, all that good stuff. So that's Canyon Lake. The next lake that I want to talk about is right here. It is Medina Lake. Medina Lake, I would not go to it because we've been in such a stage of drought, that it's become very, very dry. So I'm going to show you how dry it actually is. I think it's only to about a 10% capacity. So look at that. This is where the water used to go to, and look at how shallow it is now. So this lake has been suffering a major drought. Even when it rains a lot here, it does not get a chance to fill up. So that is kind of sad. Let me compare it to Canyon Lake so you can see the difference. So Canyon Lake is not like that. And one of the reasons is because Canyon Lake has the rivers that spill into it, so it's naturally getting fed water from the rivers. But you see how these are not as low as the other one. So if you're going to want to buy a home on the lake and somebody tells you to buy one in Medina Lake, don't do it. Buy it in Canyon Lake. That would be a nice lake to go to. Again, there's a lot of fishing. You can go boating. You can go kayaking, all that good stuff. So the next two lakes that I want to talk about are not for swimming. They're more for fishing. So if you're a fisherman and you like fishing, you want to go to one of these lakes down here. The first one right here is called Browning Lake, and the second one is Calaveras Lake. So both of those are part of the city public service system, which is the electrical system or electrical provider here in San Antonio. And let's go ahead and go into those. So these are mainly for fishing, and as you can tell right here, CPS Energy Power Station. So there's a power station on the lake. I'll show you the satellite view of it. There's a little dam right there, and if you fish alongside this dam right here, you're going to catch a lot of fish. So if you go to Browning Lake to go fishing and you take your own boat, go right there. The boat dock is over here, so you can dock right there, or excuse me, the boat ramp, and then just make your way over to the opposite side of this dam and you'll find the fish. That's where they're at. You're welcome. And then the next one is Calaveras Lake. Again, that's the same thing. You go fishing there. It's not necessarily for swimming. There are some park areas and some picnic areas, but you're not going to go there to go swimming. All right, so that is quite a bit. I think I covered quite a bit. There's a lot more that goes on in San Antonio. There's a lot more to share, but I'm doing individual videos of the communities and all the things that they have to offer. I just wanted to kind of give you a snapshot, a wide view of San Antonio and things that you can expect to see here. But if this video has done anything to help you, please write some comments below. If there's something that you're interested in that you did not see in this video or any of the other videos on my channel, do me a favor, write a comment, call me, send me an email, send me a smoke signal. I'll answer them all. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to provide you information. I'm here to help you transition to San Antonio. All you got to do is call me, okay? So give me a call. Let's connect so I can put you in touch with the right neighborhood, get your family settled in. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Go browse around the channel, and don't forget to subscribe, all right? Hit the subscribe button so you can catch all the other videos that I do on this channel. So again, we'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a good one.